right, so let's code. So there's two ways to do it. I'll show you both. But first, we want to make sure our hero is not moving when we're not telling him to move. So the way to do it is you go to sprite hero. You have is moving, which is an option for the 8 direction behavior. And then you can do something like select the animation or set the animation. So basically, in here we need to have the full name. So if you name it something that makes sense, it's gonna be easy to find, like move. That's why keeping the names animation 1 and animation 2 is not a good idea. And here you can select where you want the animation to start from. We want it to start from the beginning, so then we're done. So this means that when it's moving, it's gonna set the animation to move. But that's only animation we have right now, right? So we want one as well for when it's not moving. So one of the ways to do it would be to duplicate this one by right-clicking and clicking on duplicate, naming it something else. Idle is a term that we use in video game for when we are not doing anything. So sometimes your player will be just breathing, like in our like in a platformer. Sometimes it's going to be like tapping its foot. It's going to be yawning. In our case, when we're not doing anything, we just want our ship to do nothing. So we're just going to delete the last 3 frames and keep the first frame. And by default, that's the one we want. So we're just going to put it on top. And it doesn't need to loop because it's just a single frame. And then we want to repeat this thing, but we see we will do something a bit different. We're going to say when it's moving, but then we're going to right click and use the invert option right here. Invert is basically saying the opposite of that. So this here means when the hero is not moving. So when the hero is not moving, you want to select the sprite hero, go to animation, set the animation, and I want to set it to idle. So with this, you can test it. If I'm not doing anything, I'm in the idle animation, and if I move, I'm into the move animation. And if I stop moving, I go back to the idle animation. So you can see how it's working. Another way to do it, instead of using the idle animation, since basically the idle animation, right, is only the first frame of the move animation, right? It's frame 0. We could have coded it differently. We could have said when we're not moving, remain in the move animation, but set the frame to 0, meaning go back and stay to frame 0 of the animation we are on currently, which is the move animation. And the frame 0 for the move animation is basically the idle animation. And then if we go and we try it like that, you can see that it's also working. So both options are good. Feel free to select the one you prefer.